Hi, I am Bulelwa Ndaba, the founder of Yaap, and this is my Behind the Business with Mentor.
Hey, Miss B.
Hi, Zat.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Good to see
thanks.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I love
Appreciate having me here.
the opening of the space. It is so tranquil.
Welcome.
So tranquil. And tranquility is what you do in many ways, including helping people discover their voice. Tell us a little bit about Bulelwa Speaks.
Hi, I am Bulelwa Speaks. I am the founder of Yaap, which is a performance and communications company. And I help people speak. I help people free their voice, and I help them thrive in the different spaces that they are called to make an impact in.
One of the ways you do that, which I love, and anytime you're on your Instagram, I'll be like, oh, okay, let's go, is the word rhythm sound things that you do where we have to like repeat the same
the articulation exercises.
Yes,
the tongue
Girl, do you have one on hand? Do you have a favorite one?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I'm going to add another one because I am South African. So,
yes.
Eliqhakuva elisemqolo liqale nini ukuqaqamba de liqabhuke. Ugqirha waqonda ukuba eli qhakuva elisemqolo liqale ngomgqibelo qaqamba de liqabhuke. Do that often so that you can work on your articulation so that you can speak clearly.
Girl, it's giving release the tension in my jaw.
Listen to me, you have to.
I love it. Okay, so as we get into this conversation, we have to figure out, are you a coffee girl or a tea girlie?
Definitely coffee, black, 2 sugars.
Okay, straight up with the order. And how do you get your day started in general?
I start my day with Jesus Christ because he is the cornerstone of everything.
Right.
And I have coffee. I definitely have coffee with some, what do you call it? Collagen.
Okay.
And then I welcome to my studio. Welcome.
Love this space.
I just had a coaching session.
So warm and toasty and very bright, which I expect of you definitely.
And you can grab a seat over there. You can grab a blankie because we like being nice and warm in here.
We like being toasty. Love that for us.
What else do I do to get my day started? Gym. I do gym as well.
And you are very consistent with that. What are some of the key things that are important for you to create consistency in your own business?
Schedule. So I'm very strict I try to be very strict with my time and my schedule. There are times where obviously things will get in between a meeting that I haven't prepared for, but I literally try to plan everything, even with my coaching sessions. I try to see my clients on a specific day every single week, right? So if I know I'm going to see you on Tuesdays, I'll see you on Tuesdays 1 to 3 p.m., for example. And then if we do move those things around, then it's possible to do so because I can see what my week looks like and what my month looks like as well.
Let's double click on coaching because I think a lot of people don't really actually know what it is and understand the value.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about what is coaching and why should somebody actually get a coach if they're trying to get somewhere?
Yeah. Coaching is where someone takes your hand and they walk you through a journey. They give you the tools, they give you techniques, they give you frameworks. And with coaching, we look deeply into how I can help you solve your own problems. It is important in coaching that you do the work, right? A coach isn't there to do the work for you. They are there to guide you and facilitate the relationship that you have in the work being done.
What I really also love about your journey is that you are creative, you're trained in theater, you perform, and then you've gone and found the space and created Yaap. How did that transition work out for you?
Sure. So yeah, trained as an actress since I was 13. Since primary, going into high school, going to varsity. But when I got to varsity, I was quite intrigued in how the arts played a pivotal role outside of just entertainment. So the arts we can use to educate, we can use to therapy. So I did major in drama therapy. I am not a therapist or a drama therapist, but I did study it in my honors, as well as how do we apply drama and theater to everything else. And how my journey started here at Yaap is that, and when I started Yaap, I was listening to a lot of YouTube, and people, you would hear talks, people would say, oh, if you want to be a great leader, you need to know how to articulate yourself. If you want to be a great leader, you need to know how to share your thoughts. You need to know all these different things. But they never said how, right? It was always just, what is the how? Just tell them the how was my grievance. Tell them the how. And because I know how to articulate myself, I know how to project my voice, I know how to speak clearly, I have the tools for that because of my studies, because I was a performer. I started off with teaching the tools and techniques, and that grew into something a lot more deeper, because I realized that speaking is not just about the techniques, but it is soul work. And that also led me into doing positive intelligence. And that is just about understanding the soul and understanding how we perceive things and understanding the mind. And yeah, that's how I transitioned. I was frustrated with someone not showing someone how to do.
Absolutely.
And it's also because I also experienced this one moment where I was standing and I had to do a pitch, and I froze on stage. I literally froze, and it was horrific, and I couldn't figure out why. And so it was self-discovery of figuring out what is it that made me freeze in that moment. Yeah.
I love that. And it's very much an entrepreneur finding a solution then going, let me share the solution with everybody. One of the things that you mentioned was just around knowing yourself and doing the soul work even for yourself, right? So I'm quite curious on what keeps you grounded and how does your soul work for yourself show up in your business?
Jesus. Jesus keeps me grounded. If I pull away from reading my word, I pull away from prayer, I pull away from my conversations with the Lord, I can see it in my business. I can see it in my relationships. I can see it in how overwhelmed I become or just disconnected I am with the work that I'm doing. Therapy, absolutely, and a really great community of people where you can share about your journey, about your experiences. And that I have that community both in my family as well as with my friends as well. So that definitely keeps me grounded. And coaches, I also have my own coaches.
Thanks for mentioning that, right?
I absolutely have my own
because
coaches.
Because we all need somebody pulling us up to the next level.
Yeah.
One thing I really enjoy about you is this structured, well thought out process person that you kind of present as in your business, which I find to be very opposite to what people expect artists and talent to be. And I just want to speak into that a little bit, that you can be creative with ideas and, eclectic or whatever it is, but with still order. Have structure and order.
100%. Because God has structure and order. Yeah. In his creating of the world, there was structure and order. In the creation of the world, there was a system. Genesis 1 shows us how God had systems in the way that he created. And I love that. So it's important for me to have my own personal systems as well as systems in my business as well. And figuring it out, right? We're not going to be perfect all the time. There's sometimes where you have to throw things out, sometimes where you have to bring new things in. And sometimes there are moments where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, because I'm in a transition moment, and to sit in that transition, knowing that it's part of the journey. But it's important to be creative, but also to be a systematic person, a professional individual. Your creativity is professional. I don't like this idea that creatives are so aloof. That's rubbish. You can't be aloof as a creative. It's not okay to be aloof as a creative. You can be creative, but you still need to sell your product. And what does that mean? Systems. Yeah, it means professionalism.
And we need to normalize that element of professionalism if you are the business, you know? And talking of systems, what kind of systems have you put in place that make it easy for you to be who you are?
Business systems. or just in general?
Business and personal. So everything it takes for you to show up, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's got it together," and you're like, "No, it's not just me, guys. Behind the scenes,
behind the scenes, there are things. I have people that help the business system. Get an accountant. I am in love with my accountant. She is my favorite person in the world. If you're looking for an accountant, call me, because I will introduce you to her. She's phenomenal. She really has. She's changed a lot of the way that I move and the way that I do things. Right. I love Mkateko. I love you. This is a shout out to you. And so definitely having an accountant, having accounting systems, having an easy way for people to pay. Paystack. I use Paystack for people to pay. Having a website as well where people can automatically consult online without them emailing me. Then I give them available dates. You can see my calendar, my open dates already there, and it helps you see, you can book knowing what your availability is as well. Instead of, I hate the back and forth, it just wastes time. Another system that I really love, what's a system? I'm going to talk about my growth system. So I do have I have coaches. I've got a performance coach. I have a personal branding coach. And what's another coach that I have? And then I have a business coach. So those are the three coaches that are playing very pivotal. They all play very pivotal moments in throughout like different seasons. I also have a styling coach, because the way that you look is very important. And I took time to build, right? Another system is I have dates of when I'm going to do things, or rather seasons. Okay, I'm going to work on this part of my business. When I'm done with that, I'm going to work with this. I'm going to, develop this part. I'm going to develop the next part. There are times where I freak out. I'm like, oh, I haven't done enough, or I still need to do, but it's like, calm down. You've got a whole life to build this thing.
Yeah.
God willing.
That's so good. Just putting everything that you're doing into perspective.
Yeah.
What has been one of the biggest learning things for you from your coaches?
Oh my word. From my coaches is my voice is just as powerful as the thing that I'm trying to do with everyone else. That my voice also matters. And something that I've been learning is it is good and always important to continuously learn. It's a knowledge that I have, but it hasn't been something I've been practicing. So like I'm in a transition. I feel like I'm in a transition period right now, because there's a lot of unpacking and unearthing and re-putting and shifting that is happening right now. So it's allowing me to be held, which it's nice to be held, because I do a lot of holding. You do a lot of holding as a coach.
Yep.
It feels so good to be held, and it feels so good to do the work, no matter how hard it is. But the learning is important, and knowing that my voice, because I work in freeing people's voice, it's nice to have someone to remind me that, hey, your voice is just as impactful. Yeah, because sometimes you forget. You forget because you're so busy doing. You forget to pause, take a moment to reflect on self. So that's what I've been in the season of doing, yeah.
We often don't see our own bigness.
Yeah.
What keeps you going?
God. Jesus is my everything.
Love.
Jesus is my everything.
And what I really like about that is that it's not just a principle that you have in terms of how you show up in your own life, but you've actually built something around it, which is Jesus Business and Friends.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
Jesus Business and Friends is a missionary, not a missionary. It's a, what are we? What is the word I'm looking for? It's a thing, okay?
It's an evangelical testimonial.
Yeah, but Jesus Business and Friend is this community that we've built that is about bringing Jesus back into the marketplace. And that can look different for so many different people. It might look like how you decide to run your business, right? Are you bringing Jesus into your business? That means, how are you treating people? Are you paying people fairly? Are you challenging your own issues that you might have with yourself as a leader? Are you building people up? Because Jesus is about discipling. It's about bringing people up. So how are you bringing Jesus back into the marketplace? Because Jesus belongs in the marketplace because he created the marketplace. And then we give together, like we bring techniques and we bring frameworks, we bring things that improve us as business owners as well. Because it's good that we believe in Jesus, but we also believe in success. And so how do we become successful individuals and successful entrepreneurs or successful intrapreneurs as well? And then making friends in between.
I love that.
Yeah, so it really is good.
That speaks to one of my favorite scriptures, which is First Peter, that God says, I've given you all things pertaining to life and godliness.
Yeah.
And I think it's so critical if you're going to be ambassadors that you show up strongly in all things, that you're just excellent across the board. In the work that you do in freeing people's voices, why is that important for the African continent?
Sure, because Africa has the answers. Because Africans have stories to tell, very beautiful stories to tell, because Africans can solve their own problems and they can solve a lot of people's problems. And it's just being reminded that you can do that. And I believe that we need to hear more African voices, a lot more African voices, and trust African voices as well, especially knowing that Africa is young. If you consider the age and the vitality of different continents, Africa is very young in heart, young in mind,
and young in age.
And young in the way that we do things. There are also a lot of youth in Africa. And so there are so many voices that we need to bring up and lift up and shout, to help people shout out and speak up about who we are and how we can do things.
I love that. Speaking of who we are, what is one of your most ultimate favorite theater performances?
How could you do this to me? Ultimate theater performances.
I mean, one of, because it is difficult to choose just one. But a production that you'd like, I would go and see that over and over and over again.
I wish that this could come back. It came back, actually, I think for its third run. But it's called The Cry of Winnie Mandela, directed by Momo Matsunyane. She adapted a book, and she made it into a theater production. Momo Matsunyane is one of my favorite theater directors. I think she's phenomenal. Yeah.
And if you could perform on any stage in the world, where would you love to perform?
You are tapping into a side of me that I haven't gone in a while. Because I'm actually still wondering if I am a performer, but I don't know if I'm like there. But if I had to perform on any stage, it would be the Market Theatre. Mm-hmm. It would absolutely be the Market Theatre. The Market Theatre holds a lot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot about the history of the Market Theatre, what the Market Theatre did for South Africans in the apartheid regime, and how we were able to tell our stories, right? And there's something that I always like to say, and it goes back again to speaking. Our grandparents, our parents, they fought in the struggle physically, and we use our voices to fight. They passed on the baton to us, and we are in the spaces that they fought for us to be in. And in those spaces, we use our voices to do the work that they did. And we will also have an opportunity to pass on the baton to our children and their children. So I feel like the Market Theatre was that place where they were using their voices theatrically. Was Albert, for example, as a way to express the fight, using their voices and using performance.
So good. And if we had to write a Bulelwa production or a movie, what would you like the story that is being told to be?
She worked for the kingdom of God to bring souls to understand who Jesus truly is. Not this Western idea that people think that he comes from the West to save people physically, but to actually save people eternally. And just the work that I did was to help people understand who Jesus is.
And I'd love to see that reflected in a movie or a stage or theater production one day.
That would
And
be
as
so
we wrap up,
cool.
I do have to ask you, what
Yes.
is your mentor power? So that thing sitting in your back pocket that helps you to just show up as the full, incredible human that you are.
My mentor power is being comfortable in yourself. Yeah, be comfortable in yourself and then you'll go far.
Love that. Thank you so much for letting
Thank
us hang out with you.